it started record right here, and if I count all the generation here, it goes up to 22 generations, and of course after that we have another three more generations. This was collected by my grandfather, who happens to be a friend of Malik ji, who is here, his grandfather, and both were scholars, historians, and genealogists in a way. In fact, Malik ji's grandfather was a great genealogist of his time, and they have collected all these records. So that's what we are discussing about it right now. We are discussing in the local language of our area, which is called Maithili. It's very close to Hindi. So we will be talking in Maithili today, but in between we'll give you the summary of the discussion, what is happening. The discussion is how do we preserve all these records? It's scattered into family libraries all over our area, but now people don't have interest in all these things. They are moving around, moving all over the world. They are not living anymore at one place. So how do we preserve all this? That's the topic. आप कहिए वहाँ की फिर
In
से
fact,
रोहन जी.
no, in fact, for Brenda's interest, I will tell her one thing, something about genealogy in Mexico. In Mexico, you will be surprised that people have discovered a lot of skulls, skeletons, which was deep inside the earth. Are you aware about that? And that those skulls have got a very peculiar thing. All the skulls had the head part, there was something with a big rod, the big rod was inserted in the skull. Now, question arises: are you aware about it? Have you heard about it? Hello, Brenda, have you heard about it?
Yeah, I hear that. Actually, it's about the genealogy.
Yes.
Uh,
No,
but you talk about the skeletal.
yes.
Actually,
No.
I don't have. No, my genealogy it's not like a Martha. It's a difference because Martha has a books about the tree or the genealogy, and for me it's so different. In Mexico, the people have photo albums.
Yeah.
This is
No.
a
Yeah, Mexico also has got a quite ancient history. So what they have found is that they have found hundreds of skulls. After they've dug the earth, they found that hundreds of skulls. But the peculiar thing about them was that the skulls had hole in them in the head. So people are just trying to figure it out that how the hole was created and why it was created. One theory is that it seems there was a king who was very dangerous. So to frighten people, he used to kill them and used to with some very pointed thing he used to he used to put it in the skull, press it into the skull to frighten the people. But there are many theories, and people are still researching on that. So that is a part of the history of Mexico, which needs to be known actually, that what happened in those times.
So Linda, since we are talking about ancient things, I want to show you. I don't know if uh, uh, you might have not seen it before. This is the ancient book. What I'm showing you is the ancient book. This is the top cover. This probably is few hundred old. And what it is, they didn't have paper in India in those days. They used to write on palm leaf. So this is palm. Uh, have you seen palm in Mexico?
yeah, it's a tree, right?
Yes,
It's
yes,
it's
yes.
tree for
Uh,
coconut.
Yes, something coconut is another branch of that, but it's not coconut exactly. It's little different, but it's very similar.
Oh,
Palm, the uh, so palm tree, its leaves used to be, I mean, the leaves are very long, so that's what they dry the leaves and they use it as a paper. As you can see, it is so many layers, of the book, so one page, and this is how it was written. That's how knowledge transferred. So my family, this is from my family library. The other charts I showed them about my family genealogy, and this is a couple of books which were in my library, which I brought it because I was afraid that maybe it will get lost or stolen or something over there.
no, it's so gorgeous.
Yes. And I have to now understand. I don't know what it is about. Now I'm trying to research what is this book about. So that's what Malik ji can read it. That's what I was asking Malik ji if you can read it. Maybe I will send him some pages of this so that he can research it. Or if when next time he comes in America, this will be the project for him when he comes to visit. He, he can read it. Like, I mean, he's one of the, he knows how to read one of the old scripts, so probably he should be able to read it.
Yeah, you have a very nice collection. But only thing is that you have to preserve it in a way so that it lasts longer. And there are many different ways. But good thing first is that you must scan it and keep it in a what you call cloud. In some cloud, you should keep it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
going to take it to the library and ask them for opinion because here they love to have this kind of discussion and help. Maybe they can provide help. How can I do that one? Maybe
Yeah.
I'll give them a copy of this. That hey, preserve. Tell me how to preserve it, and you can keep a photocopy in your library.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, library system is very advanced here. I didn't tell you another story about library. That in '90 I got involved into Mithila Maithili, the area where we come from, Brenda, and then I started researching about it, and then so I become interested in reading historical books on our area, history of our area. And so I started getting books from India, but it's very difficult to get books from India. If somebody comes, then somebody would bring me, and so I collected some. Then one of my senior friend who is in now 80s, he, by the way, he is also from Calcutta, and I was
Oh.
telling them a story about him. So he is a graduate of Calcutta University, but he did PhD after coming from there in 60s in America, and now he's of course in late 80s and still doing very well, healthy, healthy. He's still doing. He still mows his own grass in the summertime. You can imagine, and drives his car. So he told me that you were why you are going. You just go to the library and ask them all the books you need. There is not a single book which is available in India you cannot find here. Everything is available here. And so I said, okay, let me test it. So I went and looked for some books in the which is written in Maithili, which is our local language, and asked one of the book I was interested was called Mithila Bhasamaya Itihas. This was written by my one of the forefather, Mukund Jha Bakshi, Mahamupadhyay Mukund Jha Bakshi. It was published in 1904. So I wanted to read that, and so I went to the library and then I filled the form, and they said, okay, it will take us to get it. And yes, after couple of weeks, I got an email that your book is ready to pick up. And I was able to, and like that, many books on the history of Tirhut and Mithila, everything which was available in India, I was able to get it. And the library system is so good in America that they are all interconnected. So if the book is in anywhere in any library of the United States, uh, they will get you that book. So all you need to do is become a member of the library, and you can access all the books which is published in the, not only in this one, published in the world. The rule is that Americans are so smart, in any language, anywhere. If any books gets published, they get few copies of that. And so, how did I know about this one? I gave you the confirmation from this side, but let's go to Indian side. I met a author who published a book, and he said that my 8 copies of book have been purchased by United States. I don't understand what they're going to do with my book. Huh. So he told me, that time I didn't know. I said that I don't know what they do with your book. And he said that mm, it's not only my book, many other people, everybody, the first buyer of our books are the Americans. And I don't know who is there studying all our books. But later on, I discovered that American library system, they have a automatic kind of buy order for any new publication anywhere in the world, and it is an automatic system. So as soon as a new publication comes, you know, it is auto buying. They just get bought and then sent to the American library system.
That's good.
Hello, Suchna, your turn.
Actually, it was written
Uh,
there, Suchna News.
Sir, I have one question. The book for the family. You have only one copy?
Only one copy,
Mm,
but I have made
it's not.
photocopy. I
Yeah,
have made I have
you
made
need
a
have more copies. You need have more copies because it's important.
Yes, yes, I'm going to do that one. Uh, I'm going to, I have my project to kind of complete it, because, this was recorded about 100 years back, and we have grown up in size in last 2, 3 generations. So, yes, I have to update this, and then my project is to put it on genealogy.com, become a member there for a while, because we were talking earlier before you joined that people think that what is this records for. But America, there is a company, there is a website, genealogy, ancestry.com, and then people subscribe to that for the genealogy, and the charge for that one is $30 a month. It's just like the software. In software, you can become a member. Everything here, any any website you try to join, it is in general $30, $29.99, and so they give you for a free 1 month, and then you can become a regular member. So yes, you are right. I need to kind of do little work to preserve all these things. Maybe Malikji, when you come next time, you can help me. When you come, we will do it together.
Sure.
Malikji is a regular visitor of US. So for all of you, his son lives in California, not too far away from in Fremont, San Jose. That's where his son lives. So so Brenda, maybe you never know. You might one day meet him, because you are he's only 8 hours drive from you.
Yeah,
Not 8 to 12 hours, I would say.
yeah,
And just cross the, when you come to visit San Diego, Bowenji,
Hmm.
she is very close to San Diego, right there. So you can to her town. I one day visited. I just parked my car on the border, crossed the gate, had my driver's license, and then spent a full day there. And by in evening, came back. That is long time back, probably maybe 20 years back, something like that. Tijuana. So her town is right next to San Diego. A very, very beautiful city with a lot of sculptures.
Oh, yeah, I wish to visit Mexico once because it seems there is a lot of history and archaeology there which needs to be understood. So,
Yeah, actually, in my state, it's not a big sculpture, but in other states, maybe Quintana Roo, Yucatan, exists the pyramids,
mhm,
and the people came. It's a public space, it's a tourist place, and the people can touch these places and
mhm,
explain what is the what happened in the history, or why the people building this this sculpture or big building,
mhm.
because it's similar from Egypt.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know if you know the history, but in 8030, sorry, in 1830 approx, Mexico lost that 55% of land for the United States,
Oh,
lost that territory.
oh, that is what is called New Mexico, is it?
Yeah, New Mexico, Utah, California, Nevada, it's part of Mexico in the past.
Oh, I see.
Some part of Texas also.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, so does it remind you, Bhavanji? This is exactly
Hmm.
what happened in Treaty of Sugoi, where Britishers
Hmm.
give our half of the Mithila to Nepal as a
Hmm.
goodwill gesture. Half the Nepal was given to, I mean, half of Mithila was given to Nepal by Britishers because Britishers, Nepali people had helped them to win a war with Afghanistan in 1912, and then they also had dispute with British themselves. So what they did, Britishers, they kept all the hilly area. That's how Darjeeling still remained of with the West Bengal, but flat land of Bihar was not useful for them when British were ruling. So basically, like Himachal, Uttarakhand, Nepalis claim that those lands are there. You'll hear all the time story about that one, since you also have a lot of Nepali connection. So Britishers needed the cool places to enjoy in summer because India is hot. So they took full control of Uttarakhand and Himachal, and in eastern side Sikkim, Darjeeling area, and all that, which Nepalis claim that was theirs once, and then uh, in in uh, in North Bihar, Mithila region, it became half of them was gone. So overnight, in 1815, Mata Janki ji, whose celebration we did birth celebration yesterday, she changed her citizenship from Indian to Nepali. She overnight in 1815 become just like um, Shivji become Indian to Chinese in 1962. So uh, we have, Brinda, we are talking about it. Our land has also been grabbed by other countries, and some of our land we lost a war with the Chinese, and they grabbed our land, a big piece of land in 1962, communist China. And we are still fighting with them for that. And that's why one of our god in Hindu mythology is Shiva. You might have heard of it. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. His place is called Kailas, and now it is in the Chinese control. Now, all the Hindus who have been going there forever for pilgrimage, visiting without anything, it's up in the Himalayan mountain, always covered with high snow. But they never needed any visa or anything. But now they are forced to take visa to go to visit their own god in their own land, which has been now occupied by a foreign country. So that was the example of this big powers. When China became big communist, they did that with uh, force. And then I gave you another example of the force is that when Britishers, just like they came to all the Europeans came to America and grabbed the whole North and South America and populated with their people. Same thing they did in India too. When they got India under their control, then they become the Lord. They could do anything. So they gave a big portion of India to Nepal. And that's why the people where we come from, our state is half divided. Half is in Nepal and half is in India.
Yeah, this is the history, the stories of the whole map has been changing all throughout the ages.
Yeah. And it keeps repeating, right? It never ends. It's cyclic. Same
Hmm.
grabbing somebody's land, somebody's woman, somebody's property. This history of this never ends. Pankaj is keeping quiet. What's going on, Pankaj? Okay. All right, good. And what about Premji? Prem is super
Yes,
quiet.
yes, yes, sir. I am also hearing carefully.
Okay. Because no words from. Okay. So just add on to this one. We need some icing on the cake. Some icing on the cake we need with your comments. Oh,
Pankaj ji, I am giving call. Huh? I am connecting you back.
can you topic yesterday? Banaji had asked me to join a group.
So,
Yeah, I have one question, sir. What is for you the more big army, USA or China? Because right now exists enmity for these countries.
Well, in the size, Chinese army is bigger. In quantity, they are bigger, but in quality, United States is way bigger than them. So China can do the maneuvering whatever they want, but they are not yet in a position to win a war if war happens with the United States, because war is not anymore fought with the manpower; it's by the technology. And technology wise, they are way ahead, and that is why there is so much fight right now happening for Taiwan, because Taiwan make the computer chips which goes in every modern technical equipment. Your rocket, your computers, supercomputers, everything you can think of, you have to use the computer chips. And latest computer chips are made by Taiwan. The company there is TSMC. Taiwan, what is the full name of Taiwan? TSMC, I'm forgetting full name.
SC
Uh,
must be semiconductor.
uh, Semiconductor. Taiwan,
Semiconductor.
yeah, Taiwan, some semiconductor. Uh, Somebody can Google it. So TSMC, uh, and so that is TSMC is very important for United States. The TSMC goes into Chinese hand, American technology suffer a lot. So that's why America is not going to give up that thing. And China's policy, China is saying that Taiwan is a breakaway country from us. It is integral part of China. So by force or by hook and crook, one day we are going to take it. And that's the fight going on there. But they cannot win. I don't think it's. They both are interested in finding some kind of a truce, because nobody wants to go to war. China knows that they cannot win. United States knows that it will be a bloody war if they go into war with China. So fight will not happen. Don't worry about that. But what is happening is the Cold War has now changed. Like before, it used to be USA and Soviet Union, Russia. Now Russia and China are one side, and America is on the other side. So that is a new coalition. And India is neutral, but United States is trying to push India to join the club on their side. But India is hesitant. Malikji, why India is hesitant to join US? Maybe you can throw some light on that.
No, actually, there is a past history. What happened is that when in 1962 China attacked India, that time, you see, the Americans did not help, even though the president that time offered, but they kept quiet more or less about it. So the history has been that, and then America befriended Pakistan also. So this is a big problem that, and armed Pakistan with a lot of this one. So, so there is an impression in India that maybe when we need some help, the Americans will back out because they think that each country is now thinking about itself. So they will see their interest first. But last few years after Modi has come, there is now good friendship between India and USA. So now the things are changing a little bit because, in fact, now the semiconductor thing which you said, now India is going to make the semiconductor chips. Already two plants are coming and they'll become operational by 2027. Large plants.
Who have started this? Which company?
No, it is with the help of American companies only. The companies who were doing semiconductor chips in other countries, in particularly in China, and who are involved in Taiwan, those companies are now have tied up with Indian companies to have start these semiconductor chips. So, and Vedanta Group is also going in a very aggressive way. Even Tata is going in an aggressive way. So, so after
I
three,
mean,
4 years,
we missed the boat. Imagine in 1960s, Singapore started semiconductors, such a small country. South Korea started semiconductor industry as soon as it started kind of growing, and now they have become giants. Singapore is also the growth of Singapore. The electronics is the one of the main fuel for the growth of Singapore, and of course, South Korea is the same way. Electronics, telephone, semiconductor, and India missed the boat. I don't know how that happened, but uh, on the other hand, if you look at it, who is who of semiconductor in America, you will find that half of them are Indians. What a
Mm.
ironic situation is that we can build the semiconductor, everything from design to manufacturing in America, but we don't have even the basic. There was one little in Chandigarh R&D plant long time back. I think some university or somebody started. I heard that is pretty much like a very tiny one, and now the initially, uh, you guys all have tested pizza, and you know the small, medium, and large. So small is what? Small is 8 inch, I guess, pizza size, and medium is 10 inch, 10 inch diameter, and then large is no, medium is 12 inch, and then next is 16 inch. So wafers where the computer chips are made, since I'm telling because I was in that industry, that's my industry, semiconductor. So I joined the industry when wafer used to be only 4 inch wide, like on your palm you can keep a wafer. It was only a small size, 4 inch diameter, circular, and you make chip on that. And then 4 inch, it becomes 6 inch size. From six, it became 8 inch. It was very popular for very long time. And then after that, uh, the size became 12 inch of the wafers, and now they are trying to do the 16 inch. Why it is important? Because with the same machine in the same time, you know, if as you increase the size, you can process and you can make a bigger wafer. That is what the uh, upscaling helps, the cost saving. So they kept on increasing the size, and it it happens that in America is so smart that there used to be a group of consortium. Bonji. It didn't happen just like that. Anybody can start and jump from 4 inch to 6 inch, 6 to 8 inch. So because there are almost 300 processes which is goes through making the computer chips, and in that process, for 300 processes, you have 300 suppliers who make 300 types of machine. So first machines have to be ready, and then the consumable on the machine has to be also be ready. So it's a huge work to uh, coordinate. So American used to have a consortium they used to call Sematech. I don't know the full name of that at this moment. So it was the Sematech responsibility of this consortium to move from one generation to another and make sure that all the suppliers and sub supplier, 2 tier, 3 tier suppliers are ready internationally, and they successfully did. Now they are trying to do 16 inch, but they are failing in that one. So the story is that the India which can automate the world doesn't have automation in India. The India which can make the semiconductor of the world anywhere you go. You know, in Taiwan they have hostels, Indian hostels, just like you are university hostels. And so Taiwan Semiconductor TSMC every year in May, when the students graduate, they come to recruit from all the IITs. Basically, Indian students, Indian IITs, 30-40% of the students in May when they graduate, they plan to come to, they take a summer vacation in August, they are in America in some universities. So that is the first loss of the IIT students. Second loss happened that TSMC, Singapore, all these companies, South Korea, they come, they tent there in IITs, and they recruit many students. So they go to those countries to uh, work for the higher salaries. Third, from whatever is left, some of them become IAS and IPS in India who don't want to go overseas. So they decide to become IS, then only few are left physically who really goes to serve the industry in India.
Hmm. Yeah, that is the history. No, but I think now the steps are being taken in India also. I think a lot of people think that we can be an alternative to what is happening in China. But it
Yes.
will take time. And semiconductor technology is a technology of the precision, ultimate precision.
Yeah, everything goes there in,
Correct.
not even
Yes,
angstrom. Uh, Even angstrom is kind of a large scale now. But
right.
actually, yeah, but we always measured in angstrom all the thickness and everything in the different thin film we call is very measured in thin film. I mean, sorry, in angstrom there. But I think now they are going to some other scales too.
So, so I had one question to Brenda. Today in the newspaper here, Indian newspapers, there is a discussion on that who should rule the society, men or women? What is the
Wow.
situation? What is the situation in Mexico?
The difference between the woman and man.
Yeah, man, who should rule the society? You see, all the society, like even the Indian society, except few, it is, men are, they rule everything. Patriarchal society, which means is the, here, all mothers, they like to have son.
Yeah, actually, it's so different. Maybe 10 years ago, it's different.
Hmm.
The mom stay in the home and take take care the the sons. But actually, it's is the same between the woman and men because both working and both pretend to add to the house.
Okay. So who
And
is the
the
boss?
kids,
Who is the boss in the family, Miss Mother or father?
um, I was created with mother and father. My father is provide the food in a house, but actually the mom is more angry. The mom, this happened. I gotta go to the friends and please say to that, but dad, I wanna sit with my friends. No, no, no. Say to mom. They have the responsibility to this
Oh,
decision. But actually, is the same for the mother and father. It's the same level.
so it is like this, in India also there are some communities when the boy and girl gets married, the boy goes to the girl's house. But in 95% of the cases in India, it is the girl who comes to the boy's house. So what about in Mexico? After marriage, you go to the boy's house or the boy comes to your house?
No, boy. Uh, when you take a marry, you left the
Yes.
house. You left the house and became
Who
the new
who leaves the
family.
house? The girl leaves the house or the boy leaves the house?
The girl leaves the house
Oh,
and
so
go to the
well,
boy.
yeah. So that means it is the men who are ruling the society. So in today's newspaper in India, there is a discussion on why should men rule the society. It's the and they say that in historically, sometime back, it seems women ruled the society, but now men rule the society, and there is a big question that how this transition change has taken place and why? Is it beneficial or not?
Have you guys heard one interesting story about this on this topic about Akbar and Birbal?
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you say it?
Because maybe Brenda will be enlightened by that university, that story. So the same question which Malik ji just asking, seeing in the newspaper. Um, you know, a king asked to his minister, very clever minister. That minister was very witty and very clever. So his name was the king was Akbar in India, and his minister's name was Birbal, and he was king of Delhi. So king said to his minister, Birbal, I want to know who rules our families in India. Who is the boss? So that was his question. Birbal said, "No problem. I'll find out. I can tell you in a couple of days by answer to this great question which you have posed to me." So all the he was a problem solver guy. Any problem you give him, social problem, he would come with the answer. So next day, what he did, he took a few dozens of eggs, you know, um, and few different color of horses with him, and he went to a famous square in India used to called Chandni Chowk, and he put up his tent there and sat down with music and everything with sweets, and then to attract the people, and he was sitting there, and then people started to kind of inquire what is this going on. So and it was mainly dominated by men in that marketplace, so men started coming. So uh, men, when they came, you know, he started asking question. So tell me, I have a question for you, and I have a prize also if you answer my question. So question is this: who is the boss in your family? And then first person came, he scratched his head, kind of thought for a moment, and he says that I am always busy doing the work, but in the household, whatever I earn, I give it to my wife, and she does all the buying, everything, taking care of kids, cooking, and so everything goes according to her plan, whatever she wants to do. So that's how we run our family. So this minister said, "Okay, so what you are saying is that your wife makes all the decision." He said, "Yes, it looks like." All right, here, here is your prize. You please take a egg. So his staff gave a egg to this first man, and he left. The second man came again. Second man, the same question: who is the boss in your family? And he obviously said that, oh, of course, I cannot do anything without asking my wife. So it's obvious that my wife is the boss. Every time I have to ask her, because if I don't ask her and I make some decision, then she becomes very angry, and I don't like that. So okay, so here is his egg. So like that, whole day is going. It is now afternoon from morning, like breakfast time to afternoon. Eggs are going out and out, and yet he has saved some horses. The horses was supposed to be the prize for those who say that man is the head of the family for them, but not a single horse has gone out. So in the nice afternoon, suddenly from the western part of our country, which is now part of Pakistan and Afghanistan, we call it Pathan. They are very smart, very strong person in India. So one Pathan dressed comes, and he says in the local language, "Ki honda," and then he finds out what's going on, and then he said, "Of course, I make all the decisions in my family. I am a Pathan." They take pride in that one. That I'm a Pathan. I mean, who else can? I'm head of the family, and I make all the decisions. Okay, fine. So Birbal said, "Okay." You take this horse then. And there were several horses, white, black, brownish color, mixed, and all that. And he was, he was, his favorite color was black. So his dress was also black. And since he loves the black horse, so he picked a black horse and he went home. So now he goes home and then he tells the whole story to his wife that, look, I own a horse. This was the thing going on there. And I, I told the truth and here it is. Then his wife told him, Khan, they address their husbands like Khan. So, so Khan, you don't have any brain. Okay, here is her statement. Khan, you don't have any brain. Look, you know, you had choices of white, brown, all kind of horses, and you always dress in the black. And if you ride you in the black dress on the black horse, people will not even notice you because everything is black. Had you chosen a white horse, it would be very colorful. On a white horse, you in the black dress, your whitish face, it would look so great. So you really made a very wrong decision. You should have taken a white horse. Oh my God, this Khan Sahab, he become very frustrated. Oh my God, so really, she has a point. I missed it. So no problem, I'll go and fix it. So he comes back to the chalk, the square, and he tells minister that, minister, I don't want. I want to. I don't want this black horse. I would like to get my white horse. And then minister said, okay, okay, put that horse in the saddle first, then come to me. And then when he came back to again where the minister was sitting, he said, look, you already said that initially that you are the boss, but looks like now your wife made the decision that you should have a white horse. It is not your decision anymore. So you are not a decision maker. So here is your egg. Go home with this egg. And so basically, next day, this minister reported to the king that, uh, oh king, in your country, all the decisions are made by women. So basically, I could not find even a single family where men are making decisions. So I am surprised that Bhavanji, you saw this in the newspaper because this story is quite known in India.
Yeah, the situation right now, it's in Mexico is woman um and men, it's equality. But for me, it's the boss is who provide the food and care about the family. But no matter how much time pass, the man is a man. The man protect the family. It's a responsibility protect the family. Uh, about the rich the man is the head of a family.
Yes.
But the mother is so angry when the father no talking about the decisions.
Oh, so yeah. Now Saratji has joined us. Saratji.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we were discussing that in India it seems there is a ladies have put up a fight. They are saying that why men should rule the society.
Yeah,
That is what we were discussing.
yeah,
who
yeah.
is, who
No,
is
women
the boss?
empowerment. Yes, women empowerment has developed in a big way, and then in one way it is positive also. In one way, uh, the negativity is not looked at. Uh, the thing is that many men are also house husbands. They look after the house and all that. But there is domestic abuse towards men also, and atrocities towards men also. But that is not paid attention at all. It is accepted as a. It is not accepted as a fact. But like few years ago, women used to go through and still are going through atrocities. It's not that
Hmm.
men are devoid of it. Men, whatever bad things happen to men, doesn't come to light because it is accepted that no, only things to be brought to light are for women. But we should think about the men also. But here in UK, the Western world, we give equal attention to both. So that is good.
Yeah, no,
Just a minute. One call is coming.
yeah. No, actually, the problem in India is that divorce rates are increasing in metropolitan cities. And now, not only metropolitan cities, even in other smaller cities also. So, divorce rates, they are increasing. So, people are a little bit worried actually that what's going to happen in future.
What about
That,
children? Who takes care of children when the divorce happen? Young children.
Yeah, usually they end up fighting the case in the court. The mother says that she will take care of the children. The father says he will take care.
yeah, for
So,
default, the mother take with the children's,
yeah.
Yes, yes. Sorry, my wife had called. So
and the father provide the money for these children's. This is the law in Mexico.
Oh.
So, what
But
is the law in India to deal with support of the children and custody? What is generally the rule?
As far as I know, if the child is something less than 12 or something, then mother gets the child. Yeah, but and father is made to pay the money. But if it is more than 12, I think father has equal right over the child to keep it.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it's like this. But
no,
now
one
this
custody
rule,
case is there of my friend.
acha, okay.
Uh, the one custody case of my friend is there. Like he he has a lot of money, but then he has been working on Wipro for the past 20 years or more. But then he was being harassed by his parents and his in-laws and all that. To both were
Hmm.
after money and the child, but then his wife also died due to breast cancer. She was in the Tata
Oh,
Institute of Social Sciences. So
oh,
besides that, he developed kidney problem. He has medical problems also. Internally, that has not been brought to light. But then TB was also planted, so he got TB also. But now he's living life. But then he fought a case in the High Court in Mumbai, and then the custody of the his at that time 3-year-old daughter. Now she is 5 year. This year she will become 5 year or 6 year old. I think it was given to him. So the case is also in the. I can send the link of the case. So that was the first of the cases which was told correct, and the custody was given to him. Although on Saturday and Sunday they can come to the in-laws can come to meet the child for a few hours, but they cannot take it because they took the child and they are not giving back. And
oh,
now the judge has warned him that if you give them away, give the child again, I will not help you because the thing is that if you go and give them, fine. If they come and take, you can file a kidnapping case. So however hard they try, they harass or tell him things, he is not giving the child, and he got the custody. Yes.
oh. Yeah, it becomes very complicated and it's very bad for the child because
Yeah.
child has a love for both father and mother, and so it becomes
But the
really
mother
very
died in his
complicated.
case, and then
Yeah.
both the in-laws and his parents are after the child because his other brother didn't have any
Hmm.
child, and he was also telling slang words and not from Jamshedpur. And
Oh.
the thing is that the child is the heir to the in-law side and this side both. And he has medical problem also planted by the this thing. So like you say, Salman Khan's driver was killed because TB was
Mm.
planted and he was killed. If you plant a
Oh,
very this thing, TB, you can kill a person. There will be no food. So so that's why he is saving the child until he is alive. He is trying to somehow look after her. And all of them are after him because the child is heir to all the property to his side and their side. So they want the child in some way or the other. So there are different cases, but this is a rare case. Generally, women are given the importance, and then it is a understood thing that women will be given. But some men also face problems. So that is
yeah, this is a very sad part of family life.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, the divorce is it's more common in nowadays, but for me, the law held more to the woman.
Oh,
In Mexico, it's the law held more the woman, and the father only provide the necessary for the children. And when
mm-hmm.
the children are adult, they decide if live with your mother and father. But when as a minor, not decide
Mm.
nothing.
Oh, I see.
Actually, the father paid 20% of your salary. This is the pay for the children's. Only one children's. The father paid 20% of salary.
What is your question? Repeat. We didn't hear it very well.
Yeah, how to decrease this situation?
Well, so this is a, yeah. I mean, ultimately, ultimately, we all as a society are responsible, but mainly this is a byproduct of industrialization of a society. Yeah, if you can see that the more the society is industrialized, the more this problem. So uh, basically, there are many things. People are busy. As the industrialized society has less and less time to individual for their 360 people, they want to give themselves all the maximum time. Everybody is busy giving maximum time to themselves. So that is the root cause of this problem, because you have to, everybody's working, everybody has to have some friends, some this, some that, parents. So there is no enough time. And then people get bored with the same partner. I think that's what is happening. And then this is ending up. In America, the average marriage life is 7 years, statistically. So this is the average of those. Some of them are, of course, they don't. Not everybody divorce. Some divorce 3 times. so so average marriage life is 7 years in America. So almost you can guarantee that any marriage most likely will end in divorce sometime in the married life. And this is again the same problem. Industrialization. Everybody is busy. They don't have enough time to take care of uh, spouse and children, and they start blaming each other, and then finally family breaks apart. This is happening all over the world. So yeah, you're right. It's a major problem, but what is the solution? It's not easy.
It's not easy. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Actually, before woman could not study, but actually the woman wanna study and the woman are independent. Not the
Yeah. If anybody can find solution, let me know how to deal with this problem. I think I think definitely that person will get a Nobel Prize for sociology. Uh, See, the thing is that you know the in my opinion, why it worked in the ancient time, um, the the values of the ancient society was different, and the value of the modern society after industrialization has changed. So this is what happened all over the world. The old system was working fine. In every country you go, there was very rare cases of divorce. In India, of course, there was no divorce at all because there was no provision for divorce in Indian marriage system in Hindu society. But Europe, you see that it was before the 16th century, it was happening, but rare cases. For example, King, I think Henry VIII. He is considered one of the biggest womanizer there, and he had three, four marriages, and he had difficulty in getting the divorce. But he was able to finally get the divorce, and the new era of divorce is considered from his time that it has started increasing. And but before that, even in the European societies, the same traditional marriage which you see in the scriptures, all the scriptures was happening. You were married for life, not for a few years. And so that was the value of the ancient society. Modern society has changed that value now. We start calling equality, men and women both are equal. Uh, they have to bring the money on the table equally. They have to spend equally. All this work need to be divided. So all this is causing the strain, and we really don't have a very good answer yet how to deal with it.
Yeah, there is also one way of looking, in India particularly. In the olden times, the Hindu religion taught that women should treat her husbands as God. So they used to, almost women had no voice. I mean, they used to treat their husband as God. But after women have got educated in India, now they think that they are as equal as men. So now the divorce rates are increasing everywhere. I think because women education is very has taken up. I think many women are girls are getting educated very well. So this is a crisis. But then we can say the same thing in USA. USA also the same thing happened. I remember in 1920 the movies which were made, that showed that women used to be not the boss in the house, but men used to be boss in the house in USA. But after women's education, there also everything has changed. Now men and women they think that they're equal. Women think now they are equal to men. It's so uh, this is bound to happen. But question is that then the family life becomes unstable. So as you said, Amarnath ji has said that there is no solution to the problem. Whosoever brings the solution gets a Nobel Prize. That is true. Hmm. Hmm.
I think now society has become very individualistic. People are not thinking any longer, you know, identity of group or family. It's like um, wife is her identity, husband has own identity, and there is nothing like joint identity anymore. So that is what is the situation right now. For example, in United States, uh, you can have the joint account in bank and you can have individual account in the bank. If you have individual account in the bank, you know, uh, spouse cannot bank cannot disclose the amount in your spouse account to you. I had my first hand experience of that. I had one time two saving account and one checking account, and so there was money in both accounts, both the saving accounts, and I had told my wife that there is a money and all that, and so she went to inquire in the. I forgot to tell her that there are two different accounts. There was one saving joint account and one individual saving account I had created, and then of course we had one joint checking account. So I had told her that I have X amount of, we have X amount of money in the saving accounts. So she remembered that, which was a certain amount. And then when she went to account, she went to bank. It was Bank of America, and the banker, she asked, and banker said that you have only the X minus so is equal to Y amount, and she was surprised. She was shocked that how come? I mean, we should have X amount, and guys are telling me the Y account. And so my wife, she kept pounding her desk that, hey, why I don't have the X account? So that discussion went on, but the banker never told her that your husband has a separate account. So she came back home, and then she asked me that you said that you have X, but actually we have only the Y in the bank. And then I explained to her the whole thing, that this is what happened, that banker didn't tell you. They don't disclose the. She was not aware of that. That if the money is individual account, they are not supposed to tell uh, other spouse what is in the individual account. Where is Prem? Maybe he can answer how are things done in India. So this is my own experience. So society is so much individualistic that if you have I mean, nowadays in America, Bhuvanji, it's quite common that uh, most of the families, wife and husband, I'm not talking about Indian families or Mexican family, but in American white family, it's common that everybody have their separate bank account, and then bills are paid jointly. Somebody will take care of the, say, rent, somebody will take care of the electric and other bills like that, or children bill. But money is in the individual account now in American household. What? Yeah, 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 exactly. So basically, that's how it is now. They expect you to do the household work half here. That is a normal expectation from both spouse, and bring the half of the money of the joint expenses. Uh, in general, that is what is when you have children, then they make adjustment a little bit, but that's how it's happening. I think this problem is not going to be resolved. Uh, I think most likely what will happen is that we will become so individualistic that pretty much people will start living single life. Huh? Future the world, yeah. Long term world population will keep going down and down, and then one day probably only Muslim will be left to earth. That is what they want, so they will have the whole world. And then they will uh, they will rule the world. That's what is going to happen. Because if you look at the Christian family and Hindu families, we have already gone from multiple children to one or two children, right? That's the norm now. Hindu, Christians, Buddhist, everybody, they don't produce more than two children. Muslims are right now, they can go from anywhere to four to unlimited. And uh, they, they say that God has given us permission to produce as many children. They don't think it is their responsibility to feed them. So they are producing all over the world Muslims like crazy children, and other communities are reducing the number of children. So what will happen? You can imagine if with this rate. And then once the society become whole planet Earth become under the Sharia law, then Sharia law will be the rule, and pretty much whatever. Of course, Islamic society is male dominated, so uh, male dominated laws will be in place. That is the future. To answer your question.
Yeah, I think today we had enough. Now I'll go and have my dinner.
Yes.
I have to get up early in the morning tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. All right
Okay.
then. Thank
Okay.
you,
Good night
everybody.
to everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Have
night.
a nice day.